If you're Prince William, you can understand exactly why you get more and more angry each and every time with your younger brother, the former royal known as the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. Particularly when, once again, as many people keep suggesting, Harry is literally trading on the back of their mother, the late and beautiful Princess Diana, Princess of Wales. Now, as I said to you many times, I met Diana and she was a very, very complex woman. I don't know, being honest here, chums, how she would have coped in this social media digital world because, what you have to remember, and we forget about this because it's so many years ago now, that, the press in many respects were kinder to Diana, whatever you may think. The problem that she may have had, in my opinion, would have been to see perhaps some of the negativity that now spills over onto the world of social media, seemingly because people feel they're a critic and they can just say exactly what they want. That's truly the reason why William is very angry indeed, alongside, of course, his younger brother. And not just that, but somebody else in the equation too. As ever, let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lovely to have your company. It's true though, isn't it? Cast your mind back truly. When you think about it, in our time, I remember reading about Diana, and yeah, there were one or two negative stories, but most of the time they were very respectful. And I think that was a lot to do with the fact that we had a lot of respect for the monarchy and, more importantly, Her Majesty the Queen. You see, the bigger difference then was that now everybody has a keyboard, everybody has a phone, and everybody quickly jumps within an opinion, whether they know it or not. You get it even on here. People say that's not correct, and you think, well, I'm here in this environment, you're not. So consequently, you understand how people start to believe a certain rumour. And that's big and part and parcel of the problem now that you've got for literally Prince William. You see, William himself has decided, and many, totally agree with him, in the fact that really he wants to keep his mother as much as he possibly can out of the limelight. He feels that she lived her life in the spotlight. And for him, and for his children, and for his wife, and of course the bigger family, they just want to move forward. It doesn't mean they don't love her, respect her, think about her, all that sort of stuff, but he doesn't want to exploit any element of her life. You have to remember that it was Diana that leaned on William. He was a little bit older, obviously, but she leaned on him a lot, and he respected that memory. Now, my opinion is that, of course, Diana would have had a very different life had she not have fallen for the absolute lies that were put out to her by the BBC host presenter, Martin Bashir. But as recently we found out, that doesn't really translate back over to Montecito. Meghan Markle decided it was perfectly well and fitting to launch her latest bid to become a billionaire on Diana's birthday, something that truly wasn't lost on Prince William. And if she ever thought there was a way back, a way of line of forgiveness, these things will be indelibly stamped on William's mind. He thought it was absolutely deplorable. And this is from an excellent source. How Harry could even not attempt to stop his wife from doing something like this on such a special day. And now William's got to put up with the fact that also there's going to be a book from a former producer about exactly what went on behind the scenes of the Martin Bashir interview. And that could be interesting in itself, but on top of all of that, the self-proclaimed rock, that's right, the butler to Princess Diana, has suddenly remembered some brand new memories. Oh yes. Now remember, this is the butler that decided that his house, he felt, was haunted by the ghost of Diana. She'd never been there, but handy, to get on TV and all of that. And suddenly he's now got a book out with brand new memories. Now I've interviewed Mr. Burrell twice now, and an interesting character, shall we say. Whichever way you look at it, and I have this from excellent sources, he was no more her rock than you and I could possibly be. Diana was a very strong woman to the core independently, and the person she truly relied on, even though he was very young, was none other than Prince William. It's very easy, isn't it, for a man to suddenly say many years later, oh, by the way, the only person that knew I was gay was Diana. Please, honestly, nobody fell for that. And the bottom line was, Diana knew exactly what this ex-servant was. But for William, the heartache and, of course, how can you put it without being unkind? It's sort of like the terrible situation that they won't allow his mother to rest in peace. You'll notice he keeps everything respectful, doesn't go out there and talk about her, only on very special occasions. So for those that wonder, did William notice, of course, exactly what was happening with Meghan Markle and her complete lack of empathy for a woman that meant so much to him naturally, and should, of course, to his younger brother? It certainly didn't go unnoticed. Meghan seemingly doesn't care who she crosses and who she hurts. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.